So, as promised, sitting here with Chef. Now, you're going to have to, I see two names, Hilary Marissa and then Hilary Grossman. Which one are we?
Hilary Grossman. Hilary
Okay.
Marissa is what my parents call me when they're upset. But
Okay. Then you put that on the Instagram for that reason? You're like, they're going to be mad at me anyway, so I might as well call it that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Awesome. Well, you're most recently at Rosemary.
Correct.
Right? How long were you there?
I was there from opening in April of 2021.
Gotcha.
And I'd been signed on for about a year prior to.
Okay, very cool, very cool. But that is the last. Here, I'm just going to turn this. It's all good. That's most recently, and here on this show, we're going to go all the way back to when you were a little niña.
Okay.
So, where were you born?
I was born in Los Angeles.
L.A. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Okay. So, what did your parents do at that?
My dad worked for construction companies, and my mom was a medical assistant for my grandfather.
Okay. What area of L.A.?
The San Fernando Valley, Reseda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. And how was growing up there? How would you describe that?
So I was only there for a short amount of time. We were living there during the 1994 earthquake. So
Oh, wow.
it was kind of our mass exodus to leave.
Understood. Do you remember that earthquake?
No,
Okay.
I was a bitty baby.
Okay.
So I was very unaware. But so most of my memories actually are from being raised just outside of the city of Chicago.
Okay, awesome. So you moved from there, and that's where they moved you to, outside of the city of Chicago? Where at?
Des Plaines.
Okay. Was the move, obviously, was because of the earthquake, but was there a job up here? Was there family here that drew them here?
So my dad had, prior to working construction, he always just worked in construction to make money and make ends meet for the family.
Okay.
But he actually was a teacher, and so he got an offer for University of Illinois Chicago to finish his degree and teach a creative writing program. So
Sick. Okay.
that brought
What
us here.
was eating like in the house? Was your mom cooking? Was dad cooking?
Dad was cooking.
Okay.
Dad's
cool.
the cook, and like our number one thing was like my sister and I have an older sister, and we had no real boundaries or rules growing up. It was just, you have to be home for dinner. You can do whatever you want before, you can do whatever you want after, but dinner is like priority every single night.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What sort of things was he putting together? Cookbook things, or just things that he'd always been doing his whole life?
Hybrid of both. Like
Okay.
he had family recipes he was really into, but then he's really big into reading cookbooks, so he would be pulling out all sorts of recipes. My sister and I would go to like dance class when we were kids after dinner, and our coats would smell so fragrantly of spices. It was almost like embarrassing.
That's awesome.
Because no one else like in the suburbs, like we're like, what is that? Why do you smell like that? I was like, Dad made curry tonight.
Yeah, and they're like, what's curry?
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, it's just good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. So, dance, did that turn into any? Did that...
I did
or was
it until
that just
I was
a,
18.
you know...
And
Oh, okay. All right.
It was fun. It was good. Kept me active and busy as a teenager.
Yeah.
But then...
What other things did you have interest in at that time?
I first started having interest in cooking and baking when I was like 15 or 16.
Okay.
So that started pretty early on.
What turned you on to that?
Just hanging out in the kitchen with my dad.
Okay.
Okay. I was the only one he really let hang out in the kitchen. So I just stood there and watched. Like, every Thanksgiving, I would wake up at like 5 a.m. to help him with pies.
Yeah.
And then just do the rest of it. But we went... For one of like our family vacations, my parents saved up a bunch of money and took us to France when I was 14.
That's
and
so
that was,
cool.
Like the turning point.
Yeah.
I just remember walking around like boulangeries and patisseries and being like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Is this an actual career path I can take?
It's so extravagant there too. When you get there, it's like fucking 34 croissants in one basket, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So did you quickly say, I'm going to apply myself and get a job as a baker, or was it sort of just like this hobby that you had?
It was started out as a hobby. I started buying different cookbooks and testing stuff out at home just for fun. And then my sister started serving in restaurants when she turned 16.
Okay.
So she got me a job at an Italian restaurant a couple miles from our house. And basically I talked to the chef owner. I was like, I think this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And he was like, cool, we need a hostess. So I hosted on weekends and after school. And then slowly he was like, okay, if you want to start working in the kitchen,
Yeah.
you have to pick up like these random shifts, and they were dishwashing shifts.
What? Got you.
And
So he
then-
made sure that you earned your keep and made sure you really wanted to do it.
Exactly. You had to put your work and time in.
Okay.
And then I slowly transitioned to Garmo pastry. And
How long did that take from front door to garde pastry?
probably a year
Yeah?
or so. Yeah. It was, and then like, I mean, being in high school, I only could work, X amount of hours.
Yeah,
X amount of
exactly,
days.
exactly,
So
exactly.
it was me just like dipping my toe into the pond of it all. And
Gotcha.
It was nice. I don't know. It
When
kind
you-
of got hooked.
When you finally got to that station, was it just like, I'm in love?
Yeah.
Like, this is me?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like Garmo, obviously, was just salads. And
Yeah,
really
yeah.
straightforward, nothing
Yeah.
crazy. But then
Does
getting to do like some bread and like zeppelis and just starting to understand how yeast and fermentation works.
Yeah.
It was a whole avenue I didn't even realize was part of this path I thought I wanted to do.
Right. Because all you see on TV, like, they don't really talk about that kind of stuff on
No,
TV.
not really.
Especially during that time. They had to make 30 minutes meals.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn. So you get on this Garmo station, which I don't think that station exists anymore. Garde Desserts.
I think
It used to.
I think it went away for a bit, and I think it's coming back.
You think it's coming back?
Yeah.
'Cause
I think a lot of restaurants are realizing they don't need a pastry program.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
they don't need dedicated pastry people, so
Yeah.
make them do it all again.
They're like, all right, first you're going to shuck those oysters, then you're going to plate that cake.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's disgusting, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long did you stay there?
Up until I was just about 18, and
Okay.
then graduated high school.
Time to move out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Immediately, my dad being very much a scholar and
Okay.
very into making sure my sister and I were well-spoken, well-educated, well-read. It was like, you can't just go work in restaurants. You need some sort of degree
Yeah.
in some capacity.
Okay.
So they made me go to culinary school and get a degree.
All right.
Yeah. So I started that like a month after graduating high school.
In pastry.
Yeah.
What school?
Kendall College.
Okay. Okay. How did you go about picking culinary schools?
It was the only one in Chicago that really offered a degree. in
Got you.
pastry.
So you didn't even think like, oh, I can move out of state and do this. You were like, no,
I
I'm
had
staying
looked
here.
into Johnson and Wales
Got you,
in
yeah.
Rhode Island, and I have an aunt and uncle in Rhode Island, so I was like, maybe. And
Maybe,
then it's
yeah.
just like, no, I don't want to ever leave Chicago.
You saved your money, bro. It's fine.
Yeah.
You don't need that life. You had like $100,000 in debt. I was driving by the other day in Denver, and I was like, fuck you guys. Like, you have no idea the fucking tumultuousness that you guys cause in my life. But anyways, let's move on. You go to this culinary school. Are you still working at the place?
No, I'd stopped working.
Okay.
For about 3 months, and then 3 months into the program, you do your internship. So I did my internship at Bittersweet Pastry Shop in Chicago.
Okay. And how did you pick that place?
I'd been kind of obsessed with it since I was 16 because it was
Okay.
the closest thing I found to a patisserie in the city of Chicago, and it had been around at that time in 2011. It had been around for like 18 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was just like, Chicago staple. The owner, pastry chef, she had worked at True and just had like this amazing resume. I was like, I want to work for this restaurant, this like cafe, and figure out what they're doing and how it's so perfect.
Yeah. So you worked there. Mm-hmm. Okay. How long did you stay there?
I stayed there for almost a year, I believe.
Okay.
Because I'd done my internship and then they offered me a job, so I stayed on.
Got you. And then the program was a year program?
2 years.
2
I
years.
did it in a year and a half.
Okay, there you go. Was there only one internship in that program?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After you graduate, what are you thinking? What are you thinking about?
So after I'd stopped working at the pastry shop, I had gotten a job at a restaurant. So I was like, I want to see restaurant pastry life and get to
the
do
other
that.
side.
Yeah. And started doing that. But then one night they were short-staffed on line cooks, and so I hopped on the line and had to work fry station for the night.
Okay.
And that was my first taste of working the line as a line cook, and I was like, fuck pastry. I'm done with this.
Yeah, right?
Pastry's so boring.
Adrenaline!
I love this.
Yeah.
The energy.
Yeah, and then you have bros.
Yeah.
You're not the one leaving at 6 p.m. and everybody's like, yeah, have a good night, asshole. And
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck. That's funny. All right. So then you're like, did you go up to your chef and you're like, I'm going to be a cook now. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Was he like, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
They needed help and they're just like, all right, yeah, like, we have a pastry chef, we have a pastry cook. Go ahead. Like, we need more line cooks right now. So.
And how long did you stay in the savory realm?
I was in the savory realm for 5 or 6 years.
Wow. At that same spot, or did you move around? Okay.
I moved around, yeah.
All right. We're gonna get into that right now. So you're in school for pastry, you work in pastry, say, fuck this, I'm gonna work the fryer, right? You're a hotline savory cook now. What prompts you to leave this job? Like,
so one of the other pastry cooks I worked with at the bakery, she had just started to help open Little Goat Diner. Stephanie Iser.
All right.
And so she called me and was like, hey, we need bakers, we need pastry people, we need line cooks. What do you, like, do you want to come and interview? And
yeah.
I was like, actually, yeah, like, I've moved over to savory. I'm not really interested in doing pastry anymore. So I went in for my stage, and at first they were just going to put me down to be a prep cook and see how I worked with that. But then Stephanie walked in, and it was the first time I'd ever met Stephanie after, watching her on TV and seeing her around Chicago. Fangirling about her. And she was like, no, she's going to work the line. Like, we're going to put her on the line today. She's not going downstairs.
She's like, I'm sick of working with all dudes up there. Fuck that.
I was like one of 2 females.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I can understand that for sure. Yeah. So she tells you you're going to be a line cook, and you've been fangirling, for years about this woman. So that must have been a pretty proud moment for you.
Yeah, it was amazing. And honestly, like, working for her lived up to, like, the expectations.
Really?
I think she was there every day, as well as being at Girl on the Go at the time. Like, you would just see her bouncing across the street continuously, nonstop. And she was there every time we had a new dish on my station. She was there to teach me how to do it and do it right the way she wanted. And then she would just be like, if anyone else gives you shit and says you're doing it wrong, you tell them I told you how to do this.
Exactly.
Fuck off, basically.
That's the way, base. Yeah. That's the way. God damn, I love that woman.
Yeah.
All right. So how long did you do there?
I was there for shy of a year.
Okay. And what stations on the hotline were you working?
I worked my way I started on salads.
Okay.
And then fry. Mm-hmm. Then flat top. Mm-hmm. Then eggs, because we had breakfast and brunch. And
got you.
And then moved over to French top.
Okay. Yeah. So French top saute.
Yeah.
Flat top is what, protein?
It's like all the hash, like, 'cause it was like such a diner. Like, you
potatoes.
A shit ton of potatoes.
I think the saving grace for potatoes at a breakfast place is that you don't have to peel them for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
That's like literally the saving grace.
Yeah, it was just like shredded hash, and then when we would do burgers and sandwiches, it was griddling off whatever needed to be.
Yeah. So what time were you coming in?
When I started working brunch, breakfast, you'd get there at like 6 or 7, and then be done at like 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's not bad.
No.
So but you were probably just going home and going right to bed.
Yeah.
Because you're exhausting. That's cool. So what made you leave here?
One of the sous chefs that was there had left to go work at a VEC as a sous chef.
Okay.
And so I got a call from him.
Very cool. Very
which
cool.
Was, hey, we have an opening for a line cook. You need to come in and stage. And I was just like, again, fangirling about Paul Kahn forever.
Yeah.
It's just like, a vet? Like, it's impossible to get a job there. I have to go stage at least. Like, they're probably not going to hire me, but I just have to go at least and see what it's about. So,
is there any inklings of pastry coming back into your life at this point, or are you full-on savory, not even thinking about that?
Not even thinking about
it. Okay. So you move over to Paul Kahn's place. Mm-hmm. Was it hard to get the job there, or did you just stage for the day and you got it?
Stage for the day.
Okay, got you. Where did you start there?
So the way a VEC's laid out, it's 3 stations. 2 of them are off of a wood fire oven, and then the other one is a range, like a saute station.
Heard.
So you start at one station, and basically that's where all of, like, the heavy hitter, like, fan favorites come from.
Yeah.
So you have the chorizo stuffed dates, pork shoulder paella. That's that station. So you're just